Good morning once again on AUTV, African Union Television, Wednesday morning, December 10, 2025. This is the morning show for you on AU Television. In the studio, I have Mr. Enusa Bao George, Honorable, and then Azizu Karim, Regional Youth Wing Administrator, also here with us to have conversation, discuss, and dissect into analysis in this, our beloved country. As we're taking off, we're going to look at Kpandai parliamentary seat controversy, education crisis for 2025, what's the results, and what it means for Ghana's future. Let me welcome my guest. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
I believe you are fine. Very well. Aziz, nice having you this morning. Very well, very well. Honorable, let me start with you. What happened in Parliament yesterday? Today we're going to blame. What happened in Parliament yesterday? I believe you watched. And what happened? That it should go on that way, because it was rather unfortunate to me, but I don't know. Your take up.
I'm going to the topic. What happened is
Another shameful thing.
very sure.
Oh, no, but now we are blending. Another, and we go say, Bakusab account.
Shameful. When you are called honorable, what happened yesterday? Parliament have a lot of. What happened was, when you have a concern, you don't want to allow the majority. The majority don't want to speak. You don't want it to speak. You don't want him to speak. And then when it happened like that, then there's rule that they should go for they have some word for it. I've forgotten the word. That is, the leadership have to go and meet. You are back. Now, when you are back, instead of you to comport yourself or to leave the chamber, you still want to stop business by stepping at the middle of the chamber. That was shameful. And when the marshals went and asked you to leave, you still doesn't want to leave. You are working with the marshals and you know the responsibility on the marshals. So you know what the marshals are to do. So if they are asking you to leave, you must leave. But they refuse, and they were still at the arena of the parliament, still agitating. So it looks as if
Center of the chamber.
The center of this chamber. And so looking at what they were doing, their behavior was just like a kindergarten children at school. So it was shameful. In fact, they could have been on their seats whilst agitating. You understand? But to move from your seat to the center of the parliament to make such a noise when even proceedings were ongoing, it was just a shameful thing. And I think when they come back to watch what happened yesterday, they themselves will feel ashamed.
Aziz, were you able to monitor what happened yesterday in Parliament? This is not the first time. Thank you very much.
use the same platform. Especially the regional minister and my able boss, able regional community. Go to the constituency of meet you this morning. Let me also use your very big platform, which Minister for Trade and Agribusiness, who is the MP for
Honorable Ajari. No, I don't. I shouldn't. If it's a fantastic woman. Right? No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying. Maybe honorable.
You see what the MPP couldn't do in 8 years. You see the wonderful work he's doing along the Browning Road. That was a very, very bad state.
But we are now talking about Boyem.
Oh yeah, you see
Boyem Sedan Road,
as you
which
see,
has been
you see
deplorable for some.
In Silver Tire from Medicaid. What I say. So when you see the stats and the manner in which he's taking Techman off, see that yes, there's very good things. And then the DC, Adam Johnson, to my regards to him.
He will be joining us in no time.
Yeah,
he has to come around to also answer some questions.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's easy. This is a political party and a government that is always ready to account to the people. We are always ready to, let the people understand what we are doing for them. Right. So I will say hi to all of them and come back to your topic. See, when you look at what happened, just a little over 11 months ago, we have a hung parliament. 137. And at the time, we were the minority, if not because of some issues, we were supposed to be the majority in parliament. But let's put that one aside. 137 against 137 with one independence. And because of the nature of people we are as MPP and majority in parliament, for the development of this nation, allow everything. At a point in time, Bagwin as a speaker have to even always rule some ruling for the majority that he knew that he was doing that because of the interest of the country. And he was doing so because he wanted peace and unity among us. But in this particular parliament, look at our number. We can just corner the current minority somewhere. Corner them. Because look at our number, 86 or your 87 or so.
87
against 100 and something. Let's even divide the two. We divide, we have two thirds. Each MP, two of our MPs will pick one MP from your side. What can you do? Even at the point of yesterday, most of your MPs were not in parliament. You understand? And it comes back to the fact that MPP has always had the mindset of not wanting this country to develop. Because we all know the procedures in parliament. If you are not happy and you don't agree in some things, you have the right channel and process to communicate or, do a protest. But at the point in time, you say you disagree with this, but you wouldn't allow government business to flow in parliament. But you see the kind of majority leader we have now. Mature as he is, he decided irrespective of whatever you do in parliament, upon the disgrace you are giving to the house. I remember this same parliament or this same minority, then when they would claim they were majority, you remember what they did in parliament. I was Ankara and Co when they were chewing ballot papers all over. And sometimes
I was Ankara.
Yes. I want to always blame the speaker sometimes more because they did some things that if he has stand on his feet and we gave some punishment to some of these people, so they were not called to order. You understand? Just recently see at the vetting committee what they did. Breaking chairs all over. What is the report? Someone stood in parliament and called the late former president's daughter all manner of names. Where is the report? So if these people were calling together and punishments were given to them, I think they would have learned some lessons because the disgrace they are giving to parliament in it entirely is very, very bad. And it's high time the speaker must take people by look at what
As if
yesterday.
as honorable, as if we are kidding, as if a joke or what?
TV, that was yesterday. So it is on my status that I can use on this platform.
No, for this platform.
You understand?
Yes.
It is so bad. How can you really just a few days ago, Jesse Crazy went through similar things. You understand? And at the time he decided that he will follow the right procedure. And then when the court decided, he went back to the constituency, did his campaign, and he gave his what? His rightful position and back to parliament. What are you waiting for? A day na useful that you think say you cannot do the same. This is a matter. Is it today that now MPP thinks they are afraid of the court? Just some few years ago, any small thing you do, go to court. Today they are afraid to go to the same court. What I think. So for what has happened in court yesterday,
yes,
it's another disgraceful to the nation and parliament as a whole, and it is high time parliament have to sit up. They have to always clap their way to whoever has misconducted him or herself as a member of parliament. Why is that they don't want us to call them any other name but honorable? So if you are honorable in nature, you must let that exhibit in you. Let's see that in you. And we cannot ask people.
Sometimes we are even disappointed calling.
Oh, sure. Because when you see in Chief, who is even the reverend father, see what he did last night. At the point where he said that he was closing his face with the nose mask, the nose mask was removed, and he even threw papers all over in parliament. And to camera captured him, and other people who did similar thing. So for what has happened in parliament yesterday, it's another day of shame to parliament.
Yeah.
That they need to sit up.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Yeah, you have something to add up with.
Yes,
but that's like, in fact, it's very disgraceful.
Yeah, I agree.
We shouldn't be going that way because we are looking up to them, we're studying them, we're following their steps. Let's even talk about the youth. So if they should be seeing all these things, bravo. Sometimes, in fact, it's very shameful. Let's be honest and frank to ourselves.
Exactly. I agree with Aziz that the speaker should crack the whip. You see, this country belongs to all of us. But the NPP wants to always do that they own this country more than anybody. So at any given time, if it is not there, nobody. So it is high time we make sure that let them know that the country belongs to all of us. If it's about violence, they doesn't own, they don't have the rights to violence than anybody. See, all the time
it doesn't belong to them.
No, I said it doesn't belong to them alone. The country doesn't belong to them.
Exactly.
You understand? I think it's about violence. Nobody owns right to that.
Yes.
You understand? And so always you see that when we are using some way to get the way out and they're not getting it, they want to use violence. You see, yesterday when they were using it, and they found out that things were going well to them, they have to resort in voting. Voting with the majority. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Anywhere that you see any violence, it's started by the NPP. They want to provoke people. And when they are doing that and you want to play diplomacy with them, they think they're not anything. And so it is high time that Ghanaians will let them know. You see, sometimes
when things are also going very well, they have
exactly. I am a Democrat, and so I don't have problem with people raising issues or drawing the attention of authorities. I don't have that problem. In fact, I will be the very person to support your cause. But where you want to play lawlessness, that one I don't agree. The discipline is not what I subscribe to. And so looking at the NPP, what they are most good at is indiscipline and lawlessness. I keep on telling the public during the Nana Danko Akufo-Addo era, that Nana Danko is a lawless president, and the APP are lawless. Looking at what they don't respect our laws. The president at that time doesn't respect the laws. He does what he thinks is good for him, but he doesn't respect the laws. And so, exactly what they are doing. So now they have seen that the laws are taking its course, and so they want to remain where they were. So they don't want to respect the laws. You see, something of this nature. What they did yesterday, what they started, they were on their seats. They wrote placards or papers to show their disagreement with the majority. That's the best thing you can do. And you deny the first deputy speaker the opportunity to, regulate your proceedings. And so it came to a time the speaker that you people said we respect him so much. He was in the seat. And now he want to regulate. You say no. If only the speaker will allow the majority speaker leader to speak. He will not allow it. And the speaker want to proceed with the business of the day. Say no. Unless the speaker passes judgment on the Kpandai by-election.
Yes.
You see, that kind of listen, it doesn't work that way. And so if you want the speaker to do it, be on your seat. Now you have moved from your seat, you left the seat, and you are standing there. Meanwhile, you know that in Parliament you cannot go and be standing there. And they were there. So their attitude clearly doesn't show respect. It doesn't show what do I say, maturity.
Sure.
And so what they're doing, you see, 2 years ago, they are the very people when they were in power. I think 7th January 2021, right? They brought army to the chamber. I don't know whether you recall.
Yes.
Meanwhile, army are not supposed to go there. So you see the lawlessness that I'm talking about. So they brought them there. And so what they were doing about,
we've gone far. We're supposed to understand the democracy.
Exactly. But you see, what they are doing is a tactics, it's a plan. They want to tell the security, so to say the army, that the country where the country is going is not going at the right way. Democracy is not the best way. So the army should come in. This is what they were portraying to the army or the security agency. And so it is high time
that they came around maybe to protect, I know any chaos.
Protection.
So they came around.
The protest is not illegal, but where they were going, they were creating some level of awareness or information to the security that they need to take control of this country. You understand? And so government have to sit up. The leadership of parliament, the speaker of parliament have to sit up. You see, they have the right to do whatever they think is good of them. But to go beyond that, the speaker must step the foot and make sure that such things do not happen again. They have done a lot of harm. Look, when they were doing this vetting, look at what they did. You see, it's not good. And the speaker has allowed them to go scot-free. Now they are asking their leader to go to appear before what is the name? Privileges Committee. We are waiting to see this one. It will not go. It will not fly. You see, when it comes like that, when you have people in an environment that there's no discipline in that society, everybody do whatever he or she wants to do. And so when it happened that way, it means we are living in an animal farm, and that shouldn't be the case.
Thank you very much. Aziz, it is time we need to be so much disciplined. We are all looking up to parliamentarians, as Honorable just said. We are honorable people. They are honorable people. And so we need to also, they should also show some kind of discipline. It is hard time. Yes, because the whole world is watching us.
So you remember just recently the current education minister, Aaron made certain even in the same house, Parliament, that Parliament is failing. He made it in a law. And then sometimes you see that these are people that have to do, which have to, or we call them our role models.
Yeah.
We call them our mentors.
Yeah.
But when you look at their attitudes and behavior, how do you even call this? When you have been to the tertiary institutions, at the SRC level, when we even go for our parliamentary sittings or general assembly meetings, how do you even see some of these things? Why do you always say that as a minority you can always have your say, but the majority will have its way? So now, at one point, MPP and its minority is saying that we shouldn't undermine the judiciary. We shouldn't interfere in the judiciary. This is a court of competent jurisdiction that have sat on a case and have given it out its ruling. At a point in time, we were told that you have applied for an injunction or stay of execution, which takes about a duration of or a period. And then in the wisdom of Parliament, at the time even the majority chief whip, Russell Nassar was even asking the speaker to declare the seat vacant. But in the wisdom of the speaker, he thought otherwise, that no, with this duration, it's just a matter of 10 days. After that, I don't have any say. And indeed, the 10 days have elapsed. What do you expect? The speaker and the clerk are just doing their constitutional mandate. So what is a big deal? Since when did we get realize that if a case is pending in court, which Parliament is not part of the suit, Parliament cannot proceed to do whatever Parliament wants to do? Since when? Or which constitutional provision has the speaker or the clerk breaches upon conveying that message to the Electoral Commission? No. You don't have that. So you can't bring emotions to the house. And you see, these issues all started some way back when the Chief Justice issue started. You see that they make argument in terms of emotions, in terms of what do you call it, as if sympathy. When the law is there, the law states what you should do. And the president is following the law. And the woman,
Article 146.
exactly, the woman herself said, whatever the law is the law. So if you have
the law is the law.
The law is the law.
The law is the law.
Exactly. So if you have anything as a minority and you want to challenge, go to court, take an injunction to the Electoral Commission, or whosoever is involved. What is the big deal about the clerk? Remember the late Enescumi? When his issue came after this year 2024 election, at a point in time, the clerk in Parliament said he will be part of the swearing in. The minority goes up and said, I want to be involved. He will pay it. When the courts will again for something that will affect him. And now, what is your problem? So at a point in time, he said if the person want to be sworn in, the court seeing that he has done something against him, take him off. Now what again? Or what is a big deal? So whatever the minority are doing in Parliament today, are just akin to telling people that, look, at this point in time, we know Ghanaians, you don't like us anymore. Our governance for the 8 years was very, very poor. At this moment, we didn't do well for Ghanaians. At this point in time, we want to use our strength to fight. And now look at what we have been saying for all these years. The former President Kufuor just said it 2 days ago about the outcome of President Akufo-Addo government. Do you want me to say more? The whole former president that they used his legacy to campaign years back was telling us that he didn't even understand what President Akufo-Addo was doing. And he was doing that along with these same MPs who are in parliament today. Sorry to say, he's behaving as if they were not the same people who were in this country some 12 months ago. Today. Really? So you think if it is about occupying the...
Are they not keeping the NDC on their toes?
Oh, they are not doing anything. At this stage of this current minority, if it is about keeping a government on its toes or keeping checks on government, they are not doing anything of that sort. What are they doing? Tell me what, anything that they have done in this current government that shows that they have put in the government into its checks. They have put in the government to a situation whereby the government is finding it difficult to defend. They have tried all means possible to even come up with any, what do you call it, scandal or whatever thing that they talk about. But they couldn't. So they have restored to the point that we have to, go to the Parliament House because the TV stations or the cameras will be there to capture us. Let's go. If you think what you were doing yesterday was not shameful, if you think what you were doing yesterday was legitimate, why do you wear nose masks? Are we still in coronavirus? All of them were having cold yesterday that at the point they have to all wear. They know that if they don't wear nose masks to cover their face, cameras will capture them.
I think that is your own.
It's not my own interpretation.
It's your own interpretation.
You see, at the point when they started it, getting to the latter part, they were even tired and they have to go and even sit down. What they knew that what they were doing at the point in time, following the social media, they realized that what they were doing, they were not happy with that. Because that is not a legitimate way. You have amended your standing orders in Parliament with this current Speaker of Parliament. And it has guided you why you should do amendment of the standing orders. And the standing orders are very clear about a matter that is in Parliament. If you are not happy, the procedure you should follow. So it's not the same party that will claim they have lawyers in their party. Most of the MPs are lawyers, is that not so? So they don't know, and they cannot even explain or interpret the standing orders with their background of law. I'm a businessman, or I did business in my background is in accounting. But at least some of these proceedings are being
analyzed. Look at what happened.
You see,
Parliament.
Just look at it. Just look at it. Are we happy as a country seeing this? We cannot be happy. This is uncalled for. It is high time Ghanaians must rise up. Let the NPP know that if a country they have governed for 8 years without any better achievements, I believe very soon we'll be talking about West results. Is that right? These are the moral indicators of this particular people who are today crying foul that things are not going well.
Let me come back to you because I'm not concerned about what happened in Parliament, which we're all watching on the screen. But it is time we need to also we need to wake up. We need to stop all these things. The chaos in Parliament, and it doesn't sound right. Yeah, so let me even ask that the NDC really agree, because when NDC was in a position, also did same sometimes. So if we don't sit down and address these issues, it's going to be a continuous something.
It is true NDC did, but I'm not sure NDC did when they go to this extent. My problem here is not about protest, about their protest.
Yes.
But the lengths at which they have gone to. It is good to protest. As Democrats, we must give way for people to show their concern.
Sure.
So it is good people show their concern. But show your concern in the mature way. Yesterday, anybody or any child watching this will ask, are these people elders? Are they our elders? You see, so when you are an MP, a member of parliament, you must lead exemplary life.
Yeah.
You must let the young ones think that, oh, this is a place to go. But where you behave as if you're a child, and children will look at you and say, oh no, how for this people, or where they are, I don't think I can be there. It is awkward. And so it is good they behave well, they behave maturely, so that the young ones can look up to them. What they did yesterday was shameful, very, very shameful. But you see, this happened during the Chukwusi's time. All that happened at the Chukwusi's time is a replay to today. Everything that happened today happened at the Chukwusi's time. The Chukwusi's time, this day of execution came up.
Yeah.
But yet the NDC made sure that the Chukwusi was out of parliament. So he was out of parliament whilst fighting the system. Before the system entered the system, the court make a rule that they should go back and vote there. And so, if today you went to court, the court has given a mandatory rule that you should go for an election.
Yeah.
And that time, the speaker was fair, even though the majority was calling on the speaker to ask the member of parliament to leave the house. But the speaker said, no, there's a rule for it. Let's wait after the 7 days lapses and there's no any court ruling.
Yeah.
Then we can ask him, we don't have anything to do then to ask him to go. And as we speak now, no ruling has come. So the first ruling stands. And so if it stands, we must go. And so when you go to the court with your safe of execution or appeal. When you go and you succeed, then you come and sit in parliament. When you don't succeed, you go to the by-election. And here is the case, as if they want to put it all. Yesterday, I was listening to one of the MP, Isaac.
Yes.
And his argument, he's a lawyer. I am not a lawyer, but lawyer is common sense.
No, you are not a lawyer.
It is common sense. Yes. So when I heard him speaking, what he was saying, I don't really get what he's saying. See, when you're a lawyer, when you're a member of parliament, you must know that whatever you did yesterday, when that is plain to be. And so if I were MPP and the caucus, they should have been humbly go down and allow the processes to continue so that we go and fight from. But today, as if the MPP doesn't have any confidence or trust in the court system, those people calling others to go to court, whatever any small thing, access to go to court, any little thing, go to court. Today, they fear to go to the court.
No, but the rule of law.
So if you were asking you to go, and today the court is there, you must go to the court and test it. You understand? But today they fear it. Look, during the Dankwa Akufo-Addo era, much happened. So much has happened. You see, look, this minority leader Afanyemake won the court, and that very day, court had to sit on the case. Meanwhile, people have sent cases to court for months because the case has not been called. So it's all that
there are some cases that crucial ones are there, and I don't know much about it, but there are some cases that needs.
I don't know
urgent.
I don't know any crucial matter that the public has much interest than what the government or an institution think it is crucial to them. What the people send to the court that time, Haruna Dusenko, was a matter that the public has a concern in. That is the e-levy. You understand? But the CJ and the judicial system brushes aside. What Afenimakin went there was a friendly thing that nobody has any concern to that, except that their personal interests as a government they wanted to pursue. And so now, today, the law is being played. The best thing you can do, today I heard, what is his name, the chief whip, the minority chief whip.
Frank Anadan.
Yes. They downplay the judge. I watch and I say, oh my God. So you go, today you are condemning judges. Yesterday, what you did with judges in this town, today, just this case, you are condemning judges. So you know, and what they are doing, you see, yesterday, they were saying that the NDC or the government is doing all this to make sure that they have total majority so that they can amend constitution to allow His Excellency John Dramani Mahama
For the fourth time.
to come for the third term.
Yeah.
That is not true. And I told you here the other day, or was it yesterday, I told you that even if their mama wants to come back, we Rangers will tell him no, we will not allow you to go. Yes, because the standard that we have set, we don't want you to come and somebody will come and get another loopholes there. So just set the standard and go away. We will not allow him to come. And so the president has also categorically made it clear that he is not coming again. But you see, the problem is that they know very well that what they are doing, it is maybe after this, what is the name, what is the name of the constituency? Kpandai. After Kpandai, there are a lot of the constituencies that the issues will come up. So it is that one that we don't want to say that, oh, we feel that maybe after Kpandai, then the next thing will be what is the name? The chief whip. What is the name of the
Anadan.
The next place will be Anadan place constituency. So that is what we feel.
What is your justification here?
Anadan place constituency was in court. Even the minority leader, Afenimakin, his constituency is in court. There are lots to that, you understand? So what they fear is that if they give way or if they do protest this way to tell the government that no, if you are trying to do this, then it will not be part of your business. Because the government wants his business to go through, then he will slow down. But that will not wash. All the seats that are in courts, the government must make sure, or the NDC must make sure that they pursue them. You understand? Me, I want multi-party democracy. I would have wished the PAC has a representative in parliament. I would have wished other parties have representatives in parliament. But Ghanaians have decided that they are bringing the NDC and the NPP. But they have decided that majority of the membership should be NDC. And so, if you have used your power then to make sure that you take certain seats that does not belong to you, and the law is exposing you, then you must give way for the law to be. So it is not about blocking others.
See, we're coming to this one, right?
MashaAllah. And Ghanaians are ready for that because we have seen the light that it is only with the PAC that Ghanaians will get the total independence that we are looking for.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nisaba. Now, let me come back to you. Azim, is the majority abusing its, let me say, numerical advantage to push decisions that could potentially violate due process and enfranchise the people of Kpandai? We're talking about the rerun.
How possible? How can We don't need to use our numbers to, do anything contrary. We're only following the rule of law. The case that was sent to court, right? When you look at the nature of the petition claims, when you look at point 7, and at point 7 it stated that that there are irregularities and inconsistencies contained in form 8A, that is under regulation 32(7), and then 39(2). That is statement of rules for the office of the member of parliament, then which is at the pin sheet for 41 polling stations out of a total of 152 polling stations. So we are talking about irregularities that are in about 41 polling stations. And then B, that the parliamentary election held in Kpandai constituency on the 7th of December 2024 was not conducted in compliance with Regulation 39 of the Public Election Regulation 2020 CI 127 and the principle laid down by the Regulation 39, and that the said non-compliance affected the results of the elections. I hope you are listening. That the declaration and the publication of the parliamentary election results held in the Kpandai constituency on the 7th of December 2024 was not made in compliance with Regulation 43 of the Public Election Regulation 2020 CI 127 and the principle laid down by the Regulation 43, and that the said non-compliance affected the entire, I hope you are listening, the entire results of the parliamentary elections in the Kpandai constituency. When you see that people make argument that the NDC or the petitioner went to court seeking for 41 polling stations, that is part of one of the issues. And he has stated again that because some of these things affect the regulations that were used in governing or running the election, that is CI 127, it affects the entire results. And this same thing the person was seeking, this is the reason the person have paid for the 2012 election petition by President Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
In his petition or in the day of ruling, some of the judges or even the judge said that there is an aspect of an election, okay, that can affect the entire election, which is a court, it is there. And look, the interesting part is NPP are not even claiming to let people know is that. And then the minority leader was quick to come out to say that the court did what that. Look, as at the time the NDC was another aspect of the police sorry, and the NPP is also challenging some police. Then even going to one of their claims that, which is their fundamental human right under the CI 127, where they even change a coalition center from Kpandai to Tamale without the involvement of the parties and the NDC and its candidates. It's a fundamental human right, because for the CI 127, which has stated where the coalition center to be, you cannot change the coalition center without the involvement of the other party. And even so, if you change the coalition center with the involvement of the other party, in within the coalition, the other party again must be present. In all this, the NDC will deny. So what has the minority or majority going to do with our numbers in influencing anything? This is a judicial matter. These are facts that are presented to the court.
It's not about the majority.
The interesting thing is that at the court, I don't think all the even 5 of the majority MPs were even in the court. It was the lawyer for the petitioner, and then the party members who went there to support, and they brought their facts clear. Didn't we see some in 2020 here in High Court?
And what
happened or what happened? When they violated the same CI 127, okay, when proper coalition was not done and election was declared, what were just
I'm not to say that, but as Honorable said, so are there going to be more vacant seats?
We're telling about the whole number of seats in court. But it is proper record. This is not like is because of this Kpandai case. We have been challenging even it is recently that we are not hearing about Teachmensa. Teachmensa was equally in court. Is that not it? Teachmensa was in court. Obuasi was even in court. Yes. Right? There are other number of seats that were in court. And which if you listen to our election director, one of the election Rashid Tanku, we have always stated it. That these are cases where we are pursuing and we are taking them one after the other. And it's just a matter of time. It has nothing to do with our majority in parliament. It has nothing to do with we being in government. It has everything to do with we going for election. At a point in time, we realize that there are things the electoral commission led by Kpandai and his subordinates decided to conspire. And then some were able to go through and we think we have to use the legitimate means to reclaim those.
But how did the conspiracy come in?
But if it is not conspiracy like when we are witnessing in Kpandai, how can you change the coalition center from Kpandai to all the way to Tamale?
Thank you very much.
Other parties. You understand? Obviously the same thing happened. Is that not it? Even in Techima, if you say that elections will
no, for Techima, you know, the court ruled.
And then, if it is so, if we respect the decision of the court, and we consider the court after the judgment, there's nothing wrong with that. If the court has ruled, we can disagree with the judgment or the ruling of the court, and then we can criticize the judgment. That one is allowed.
You're watching us live on African Union Television, Facebook, YouTube. Check us on autvonline.com, avbusiness.com. I'm here with Azizu and Azizu Kawoon, Regional Youth Wing Administrator, and Honorable Ilusa Bao George, PNC Regional Chairman. Having very interesting discussion here this morning. Stay with us and be with us. Now, Honorable, let me come back to you. Let us talk about education crisis. 2025 was results and what it means for Ghana's future. The abysmal, results or performance that came up. How did you also assess it? How did you take it?
I think this year or the 25 was one of the cause that we have so much up to date. No any data has shown what has caused that. What I can
you call it political?
Well, we cannot downplay that because everybody has way of doing things.
As if we are trying to politicize the whole performance.
Well, that's the case, and it is not only the Wasi. This country, everything is being politicized. But what we can say is that there's a government that is bent on getting good results, but not feeding people to get the technical know-how.
Yeah.
And so you see, and very see that when the NPP government was, what they do is to make sure that at the end of the year, people write and get good. So people can rate the government as the government that has performed well in education. Meanwhile, they are the very government that couldn't pay WASI fees. Couldn't pay WASI fees. They couldn't pay WAIC. So, if you want people to rate you as the best,
But did I get you right? They couldn't pay what?
WASI. Your government pays every year.
Yes.
But they were
aware of that. Yeah.
They were owning. Government own WASI. Because the time they even stopped to release the results enter, government pays the money. You understand? So this is something that they have created, that they want people to see that they have invested in education. Meanwhile, you cannot pay WASI fees. And again, the government has developed interest in getting students to just pass. And so the government has invested money in buying pass questions.
Yes.
Those days when we were at the villages, we used to go to people who have completed their secondary school. Pasco. We used to go and have access to that. Then we also come and learn. And so this time everything is easier. Everywhere in this country is not remote as it were at our time. And so we get the papers everywhere. Yet government want to use resources by papers which students can access. And so buying the papers alone to students without them getting them to stress themselves to look for the papers, the students have seen that it is the government itself wants corruption in the examination practice. You understand? And so you could see that during the NDP era, some students were agitating when invigilators were so harsh on them. They agitate that they wanted the invigilators to free the environment so that they can get access to copy, or teachers can, write for them. And so you see that almost all the schools, when you go, you see one thing or the other. I am privy to be part of a management committee in the secondary school.
Oh, okay.
And you see, the order of the day is that if we don't do, our school will not pass. And so all schools were bent to do it. They have to take some money, share to certain teachers to support or to help the students to write their exams. Their teachers
raise a mainstream.
Exactly, influence invigilators and examiners so that they can get access to a copy. You understand? I know another school here in the Buni East or Techima municipality that
Don't mention it.
I will not mention the name, but what I'm saying that I know of is though they have cancelled their center. But what I heard was that when the examiners come or the invigilators come, the Ojukro or the chief of the town will just take them to his palace and tell them, you see, this is a village school. This is a school that we are still coming up.
Yes.
We need to get more passes so that people will have the pleasure to come to the school. So you people have to give way and allow the students to do whatever they want to do so that we'll get good grades. So they'll do that and pack the vigilators somewhere or the examiners somewhere, and then the school, and lo and behold, the school person.
Are you saying that they give them local fuel or what?
This is what I heard. I don't know. It's an allegation. And so this is what they do. And so when they did that, the school had better grades. You understand? And so this thing, those days at the northern region, we don't know something like this. How to do this means and ways or copying. We don't know it. You have to crack your brain and write your exam. You don't pass, that's all. But this time I am telling you that the sadness have taught the madness that no So what I'm saying is that those days, if you go to the down the northern region, that thing wasn't there. But this time it has gone everywhere in this country. That the best way you can do is to get, or your school can get students, is to make sure that you allow teachers and students to copy. And so when they copy and you get better grades in your school, every year you get a lot of students. So this is what they're doing. Whether new school or old school or whatever, this is what they're doing. You understand? And so we keep on getting better grades. So I need this one to this performance to strict invigilation. This is what I've seen. It's strict invigilation. As I'm speaking now, my son is one of those that are calling to come and answer questions.
Wow.
Yeah, he wrote, and I was there, and I had a message that my son should come and answer questions on is it integrated science or what?
Okay.
One of their subjects. They should come and answer. You understand? Some time ago, I think 3-4 years, was it 5 years ago? One of my son attended Teaching Secondary. The same thing happened. They had to cancel the integrated science. They called them to go to Sudan. They carry all of them to Sudan to investigate them. And at the end, they canceled the results. So this thing, when you have,
So you're saying that it's about strict invigilation.
if now the teachers are afraid that when you are caught, your certificate can be withdrawn, and so you lose your job. So no matter the amount the students will give you, you lose your this, and that money cannot cater for you. So they will stay back, and the students who will not have, I mean, because of the strict invigilation, they will not have the opportunity to copy from each other. And so what we are seeing today is is what they have learned, or what they have, I mean, read their books to write. So we cannot blame I mean, cannot blame it on teachers. We cannot also blame it on the government.
Yeah.
And we cannot blame it on the education ministry or the Ghana Education Service. That is what the students have learned. The teachers taught them, but the students want to get cheaper way of getting their results. And so they don't want to learn. Students don't want to learn, they don't want to learn. And so when there's strict invigilation, then they found themselves wanting. So what they got, of course, the results too is not all that bad. It is, we are comparing it to the past years. That's why we are saying it's not good. But it's not once, and then he wanted the child to continue education. But the child said because of the results, he or she cannot continue. But unless, I mean, she writes the private examination. And so they are contemplating whether to go and write private and pass that this before going to. So I said, let me see. I look at the results. I said, by the results, no university in this country will demand your child from attending. Is that? I said, yes. Looking at these grades, I mean, their problem was, is it maths or English? And it was 6C or so, something like that. You understand?
Without passing maths, English, and maths, it's for maths and English, it will be very difficult for someone to be.
I know, but the results I saw wasn't a total failure.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
I think it was 6C. And 6C, no university, you're going to course, whatever, you get admission.
Sure.
You understand? But sometimes people want to get, is it A1, whatever. So if you don't get that, you cannot get admission. What I saw, I told the man that, well, if your child wants to try the courses, I mean, there's a way you can do it.
Yes,
I am telling you that this results.
Yes.
Anywhere in this country, any university will get chance. So try that. And that's okay. He doesn't know they can get the opportunity. So that is it. So the results is not all that bad. Though some have gotten F, with F it will be a problem. But even with
acrobatic service.
Yeah, some get pass.
Yes.
With pass you can still get to school.
Yes.
Not all school, but you can still get to school. So the results is not all that bad. Of course, we are comparing it with the past ones.
Yeah.
And comparing with the past ones, we're making a mistake. This time, I know it is a strict regulation that has caused that, and that strict regulation should be there. You see, we must train students to become better leaders in future. Result doesn't make any difference. You understand? By this time, we concentrate more on getting good results than training the students.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister George. Thank you very much for that submission there. Now, let me ask you. Is the double track system now hurting educational quality? And should Ghana also should we scrap it or reform it immediately? So what's your solution here?
Thank you very much once again. I think when this issue came out, Nagrad President Angel Kabuno, he stated emphatically that blame double track system as one of the problems of the field. That in related, he said we should blame the double track system as one of the failure, and he also said that this resource is a true reflection of the students' performance. Hope you get it.
Yes. Is it true?
It's a true reflection of the students' performance. Unlike other years, what we see. You see, I hold in my hand here. This is Ghana Web. I want to read a portion of Ghana Web, which was published on the 9th August 2025.
Okay.
And this is Executive Director of West Africa Examination. That's Edu Watch, Kofi Asare.
Kofi Asare.
He said in one of the paragraphs in an interview with Ghana Web, he said, Wesley malpractice has heightened in the last 5 years since the introduction of free senior high school policy. Power brokers in the country, including financiers of the ruling party, members of parliament, key stakeholders of the Ghana Education Service, and the Ministry of Education do whatever they could in the name of free senior high school policy to indirectly bully headmasters of senior high schools, but this has to ensure that their respective schools attain a certain level of output with the respect of the Wesley resource. So you see that he has no mean ways. And this is a man who has always been consistent with his stance on this issue. And you see, all the performance were increasing until it got to 2023. That is when we realized that no, at this point, where things are going is getting out of hand. Even look at what Engineer Kpandai Japan said yesterday. He said he was against the buying of past questions to students. My senior, my brother, my mentor, is my colleague from the north. I'm even sure we are all attending the same senior high schools in the same town. I went to them and go senior high. You understand? Them and go senior high. Who dare you that Wesley is starting to know you? And you say you are a master or teacher, you want to even teach in the school. Oh, student, you are writing, so let me take you. You have some idea that you don't have that. Use this. But today, what do we see? Yes, for the double track, we have stated our points. But at this time, because of the lack of infrastructure that we are putting in place to take it off. Because Angel Kabuno is not a small person to doubt the problem or to accuse the problem of the problem or the failure to double track. Because there are instances where a child or a student goes to school within 2 weeks or 1 month and the person is asked to come back home and let another badge go. Even when you go to school,
more than 3 months or is it?
No, let me tell you a month or so.
A month.
When you go to school, the highest you can be stable to even say I want to study. Unlike every student does. When you go to school, sometimes it takes you about 2 or 1 week or so before you even say, oh, let me start learning. So how can I go to school? I'm not even settled to even say, let me even start learning what I have been taught. And I've been told to come back home. And you know when you come back to the house, For the first 1 week or 2 weeks, you know what you all come to do. More or less, is, oh, I've come back to the house, let me relax. And then they play another staff. How do students even learn at this kind of environment? But people want to use politics. And you see, I came and chanced one research,
Okay.
which was conducted by the International Journal of Innovation Research and Development. And this is a research that they did at the University of Cape Coast, which is in line with even SS. Look, they asked one of the questions, they said, what are the leading reasons behind student engagement in examination malpractice? Listen to the interesting things they said. They said to maintain the trust and investment my parents have made in me. The sample was 318, and then female were 291. Oh yes, and the 91% were saying that is the trust, because they don't want to lose the trust in their parents who have invested in them. Now, like my senior said, there are instances headmasters and schools are asked students to pay money so that they can support them to be able to pass in exams. Today, look at the results people are holding. Somebody can be holding all A's, but when you put a storybook in front of the person to read,
Nothing to write home.
nothing to write home about. You remember recently, one woman was in Facebook or social media saying that someone who was having 14 from SS couldn't write her name. At the 14, you cannot write your own name. And she was like,
No, this is a very serious issue that we.
you see, it's very serious. Look,
serious.
This thing is look, one thing that is also disturbing is that these students get the chance to go to a tertiary institution. At the tertiary institution whereby some of these things could have been exposed so that we know the reality. That is where the lectures go to are compromised. And it is a fact.
So they want me to mention the name.
No, I don't want to mention it.
They want me to mention the name. I should just forget that.
You know the lecturer's name.
No, I'm not going to mention any lecturers.
So what I'm saying is that there are instances you see some of these things who are at very level.
It's true.
I hope you get it. Well, at the point that we all know that there are CGPA that if a student don't get, the parent is supposed to even go high. But you get that notion that this person is not performing. Luckily, I'm working at the health facility.
Oh, okay.
There was an instance whereby our supply officer, two students who were nurses came to do their clinicals. You know, when we buy things, we have this we call supporting invoices. We decided that we'll have the original invoice. This student, you've come for your clinicals, you are not engaged. This is the original invoice. Just translate the same thing to these invoices I have given to you. It was a problem. These are students who are practicing nursing. And sometimes I always say that if it is at the business course, no problem. But these are students who they are both give them the chance and the opportunity to go to nursing or go to the medical doctors. These are the danger it will bring. That is where our focus should be. Yesterday, when Engineer Kpandai was talking about his disagreement with the government buying the pass, he said we have Kpandai science and technology. Now most of their graduates are even lawyers. They are not lawyers. But their core mandate is about technology and science. Are they doing that? There are questions you have to be asked. So when it comes to this worship performance, and you see, one thing that is fueling this is parents. When you bring the government aspect or the politics aspect, parents are much into this. Because most parents don't even know their standard of their children. As to the qualification or the grade you've gotten from senior high or after your BEC, can you even read? Can you even write? What the parent want to see is that, oh, my ward or my child had this number of grades is what they call it, a certificate, and they are happy. At that point, whatever you do any checks, you don't do any checks. No, at that point, if it is about immigration, if it is about money you want to apply, you are qualified because you have the qualification. If it is about going to the tertiary institution, you have the qualification. Nobody can deny you that. But what is the standard of the child who had that grade? Just recently, when over the years, or just within this year, when the BEC started, I was walking in town. I met one lady and a man. They were discussing. You know, when they started the BEC, these students were not having the chance to cheat as they usually do. What the woman said was that we voted for the wrong government, and the guy told him that I think you voted for this man so that your children could have their way out. Then because of cheating, you are regretting of voting for a government because your ward cannot cheat or your child cannot cheat in exams. Is that the standard we have set for ourselves? So now, is this year result is a true reflection? It's also about the fact that how your people have stated it clear. If you involve yourself in your court, this is the punishment you are going to be given. Let's go beyond just the results. Let's go beyond the result. Look, most of these children or the students that we are claiming that they have these are the number of children who are going to free education. Yeah. Let's also ask ourselves, most of them will come back to the house, will not continue their secondary school education, but they will be learning this handwork, either fashion design or being a beautician or those stuff.
Yes, I believe in that, because it shouldn't be always academic.
But look at nowadays, I think the fashion designer, they were calling them tailors. Is that about it? They are fashion
designers.
And when you look at their way they are doing, you admire most of them. All of them that we started schooling with, and they decide to go to that lane. If you see what they are making, we who are tired of being in the office,
always on tired.
How to get it? It's mentality. So the school, see, I will never say that nobody shouldn't go to school.
Yes.
It's a fact. But make sure that your standard reflects what you are doing. Some of us were not all that good in school. But because we have the passion that whatever it will take us to learn and go for it, we'll do it. And there's nothing wrong sitting to write exam 2 or 3 times before proceeding to the tertiary level. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. Why is it that this time around we are making look as if that at all costs, when I finish SS, I must pass and I must continue? Is that what we have to be, or we have to be doing? For the performance of the results, I will blame mostly entirely to the parents, because they have also called for it.
Okay, let me come back to Honorable. Honorable, I quite remember when the late President Mills, Kufuor, it was 3 years, right? And Kufuor extended it to 4 years. And Honorable, as we speak, I always remember way back, with the Form 5 and the 6th form, lower 6, upper 6, and then when this, we come back to that, educational reform, don't you think that it's going to be best for us? Because the 3-year term, we don't exhaust all the syllables and in terms of the education system.
So, you see, I do not have the privilege to go to the 4-year, although during my time,
okay,
there was a 4-year education. I nearly missed a 5-year education. So when it was time for me to go to middle school, that time my father,
they used to say science.
My father was the elder, was the chairman of my community. Said he will not allow us to go other place. Okay. So he went and lobbied for a JHS. So we started the JHS in our community. At that time,
JSS,
yes,
JSS, Junior Secondary School.
Junior Secondary School. There was some other students in our hometown who were also attending middle school somewhere. And so some of them left their place and they joined us at the AHS.
Okay.
So we beat them.
Wow.
They were in Form 4. And they from the Form 4, they came back to join us. But we beat them. We were going through the 3-year. They had the 4-year. I said we beat them. I had another privilege of getting some of them at the secondary school, yet we beat them. So the year doesn't matter. Government need to invest more in education, and monitoring and evaluation should be the order of the day. And so if teachers are doing their best or doing their work well, the time doesn't matter. Also, students, parents needs to be up and doing. Some parents doesn't care about what their children don't care at all or comes home to learn. They don't care at all. Somebody, when the year begins, the only thing the person can do, and most of them are women, the men doesn't even care, to go to look for a place for their wars. And so when they send the child, when they get to school and they send their child there, they don't care about the other things. If it is about books, they go and buy the books. If they say PT or something like that, oh, do we not call? So that's what they do. They don't care about their studies. So all this, we need to all put our hands on deck and make sure that we monitor the system. The year doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
But the commitment at the education level is what will change everything. But you see, there's one thing I have observed. This corruption that we are fighting, and it is fighting us back, all started from this level. You understand? When people are made to cheat their way through, and they go to be heads of institution or leaders in an institution, obviously what we will see is that they will bring the cheating there. That is where the corruption started. You understand? And so we need to make sure that this cheating at the school stops. So when it stops and we are lecturing children to be adults, I think they will leave there to the department and agencies to be good citizens. But if we allow the cheating to continue, it will continue, and the end results will be that they will come and download it at the various departments. So let's put all hands on deck and make sure that we support government and encourage government to do more, so that this cheating stops at the basic level before it gets to the departmental level.
Fantastic. African Union Television, AUTV, live on Facebook, YouTube, autvonline.com, aubusiness.com. Aziz is here, and my good brother Elisa Bao George is also here. Praying that we're going to, if it's going to garner, PNC to power, it's going to try as much as possible that he comes to power, where I'll become a minister for. I want finance ministry, so that I can also siphon the money. You okay. So Aziz, we're checking out. So finally, whether we should any other matters.
Yeah. As we are about, or we are.
Yeah.
Or what I want to tell our listeners, that this NDC government for the people, government that listens to the people. Yes, we are from a place that we are not all happy about, or we came and met an economy that was not good, putting the economy back.
The prices of commodities are still on the increase.
Oh, objective. It is because if nothing at all for the past 11 months, those commodities that have not been reduced have been stable. 1 year down the line, or 1 year before, or let me say last year by now, we all know that you go to the market today, an hour or the next day, prices of goods have increased. But for the past 11 months, we've all seen that the economy have been stable. Prices of goods have been stable. Most over 80 to 90% goods have been reduced. And you know it's a fact. The price of cement was around 120 there. Now,
why do we always, we talk about the price? So how much is a bag of cement? Oh, I don't know the price actually.
You have there are so many companies.
It's sure. We have the Jackson, we have the Jata.
But what I know is that the price of cement that have gone all the way to 120 Ghana cedis, and now some are around 80 cedis, 90, and those around that area. So more definitely there's a reduction. If something that was around 120, some are now sold at 80, 90.
Before another has just prompted me to ask you a question. So now let us talk about the utility prices.
Yes, you see.
Another prompted me. I should ask you that question before we go.
Utility prices, that's true. Sorry. We are told it will take effect on 1st January.
January 1, yes.
That is what the PURC has come out with.
Yes.
Then we hope that there are still other consultation around the table, if maybe there can be an adjustment or something. But in all, I think it's for the good of the country.
This Christmas,
it's Christmas, it's New Year. I'm not happy though. As a government communication or communicator,
yes,
it becomes one of the difficult moments when you want to talk about some of this. I think in all, just like when we came, we decided that we have to reduce ministers. We have done that.
Are you sure?
We have to, of course.
And now,
when the country is 58 minutes, and not even up to the 60
staffers.
Oh, but for presidential staffers, what we have at the moment cannot be compared to previous years, and it's a fact. These are when
organizers are presidential staffers.
No, I don't think so. That was
my checks low.
Exactly.
Okay, honorable.
The organizers are not presidential staffers. So Kofi, as I know, is not a presidential staffer.
Are you sure?
Oh, he's not an appointment, that is not a staffer.
Okay.
I hope you get it. Just like what was communicated earlier on at the beginning of the appointment. I hope you get it. So you can make your check. The next time I come here, we can.
Very well. I will come around it.
Definitely. So we have reduced ministers. We have even prevented appointees by giving them fuel coupon. These are all reduction in the expenditure. And then we have invested. And you see that now the city to a dollar where it is. So these are things that.
But then we are pumping money.
Oh, but
the central bank.
But what is one of the mandate of the central bank is to make sure the city is stabilized. That is one of the work of the central bank. So if you have a central bank that is there, that can only give us that. So we want to say that if the 60 billion losses that we made last year, if that money was there and being pumped to stabilize the city, wouldn't that be good for us? The city, the money that was told that have been lost, where is it? But if a government has come and are not making losses, are having the money as the mandate of the central bank to make sure the city is stabilized for businesses, it's not a good thing. These two things cannot be compared at all. It's a prudent way of what? Making sure our resources are being used. We will not come and then to bring our balance sheet that we have lost this amount of money at the central bank. When we can make sure those monies are used to stabilize the city. So everybody knows that the central bank is just pumping money when you don't even know one of the functions of the central bank. That is their work. I hope you get it. And that is the work you are doing. Gold board has come to stay. And you see the money gold board is making to this country. You ask yourself, all these years or for the past 8 years, where will this money passing? So you get it. So it's not an interesting day that by the beginning of the year, utility prices will be.
I will catch you back tomorrow morning. So, honorable, we are taking out the final words. Because, if I should, as you was talking about gold, which yesterday I asked you about, Galamsey gold or the original
gold. What I want to add is that the organizers are still staffers.
the regional organizers.
They are staff.
They are staffers.
Of course, those time that they were made staffers to go to be at the Flasa house. This time they are no more there.
Okay.
This time they change the status. That doesn't make them not part of staffers. They are
Okay.
staffers.
Okay.
This time they are in charge of political.
So that's the
Yes.
name. They are political.
They are regional political.
Oh no, that one they'll be political.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be political.
Yes, but so they are staffers. They are staffers at the regional level.
Okay.
So I think
They're not the presidency.
all of them, even the regional ministers are staffers.
Yeah. Okay.
The regional ministers are staffers. What is the name? This is they're all staffers.
They are all staffers.
Except that they are not at the presidency.
Yes, that is
So you know
what I want to understand.
initially the plan that they were moving them to, they were moving all the organizers to the Flasa house.
Okay.
But later they changed it that they should remain as their regions.
Okay.
To be political heads.
Okay.
And you see, this is the promise the People's National Convention is giving to Ghanaians that look, the appointment of regional ministers doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
And so you see that now the president has appointed the regional minister. He has also appointed a political head. So what is the difference? So if you take, so let's say now the political head in Buni doesn't have an official car. You understand? He doesn't have an official car, but he's working all right for the government. The regional minister has an official car, and he's also working for the government. So if we scrapped the regional minister's position and use the political head, those times they use it political desk.
Okay.
Increments that we're calling them political desk. And so when they are there, and we give them a vehicle, let's say if ministers are taking V8, we give the political desk officers vehicles. They can work. All right, you understand? It's there the matter of coordinating after all the MMDCs and the regional minister himself is under the local government ministry. So if you put somebody to come and coordinate affairs of the MMDCs, this tautology, it doesn't make any sense. So when we have a political desk who coordinates affairs of MMDCs, then give the results to or the report to the local government, I think it makes more sense.
Yeah.
We save a lot of money. You understand? So we will come to that. PAC, that is our policy. And we'll make sure that Ghanaians give us the opportunity to implement it.
Come 2028.
Yeah. So let me come 2028. Let me comment the contractor working on Aurano Road. I think his
Is he on site? Is he still on site? Okay.
MJB. I think today there's a communique that they are going to block the road. And so those from Aurano or from town going to Aurano cannot ride the road.
Okay.
You have to go and take through Isidine or you go through Kpandai area.
Okay.
Yeah, you go and pass through there before you can go to Awan because they are going to work on the bridge. So let's comment him, especially the work that they are doing.
Okay.
I spoke to the engineer. There is near Yabua. They are doing a very fantastic job. The work that they are doing.
That is not urban roads, right? Oh,
no,
I don't know.
They are not urban road. It is a contractor.
Oh, and the contractor
I'm not sure it's urban road, which is monitoring the.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
But I think it should be a central government road.
Okay.
Yes. So they are doing a very fantastic job. The work that they are doing, they are okay with it. We pray that they complete it in time. Make the place a very beautiful. As I told you at that time, that I will be the Dubai of it. But when they finish the road, see how the road will be. It's good.
You didn't hear that?
Yeah, so they are doing a very fantastic job.
Very
They are still asking communities, members of the community,
Okay.
With the contractor.
Okay.
So that who has the tellers to this water.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister about PNC. Very well. We'll be coming there.
Okay.
We'll be coming there with guys will be coming there to also check.
You're most welcome.
Very well. Very well. We'll be coming around to also know what is going on there with my bosses. African Union Television, AU TV, live on Facebook, YouTube, AUTV, online.com, AUbusiness.com. But remember, we need more businesses. You have to come around them. We also support our station.
Exactly. I think we need to do more branding.
Yes.
People even around here doesn't know. First of all, you need to get to people.
Yes. Yes.
And nobody has any knowledge about this. We have tried to advertise your
Yes.
you also need to do this. We know that you are still at signposts
Very well.
when they have their people to come and advertise. Average to
Yeah. Thank you very much. Aziz, so God willing, tomorrow, do you have any words?
Listen, only promise to guide you. Hope that happily. Just as His Excellency want to leave a legacy. He sees that Ghanaians or Ghana country how to come here first day. Add up to what they have said. Station as well. I have to call because I was trying to avenue of pressure probably let's do that. I said it's our own. When we are all been here and we are going to let's help to build our
Sure.
how that now also make sure that as a political party we use this platform to market more about our achievements and
Yes.
our government.
Yes. Yes.
So the other big names who are more than platform to speak.
Thank you very much. Azizu Karim, thank you very much. Regional Youth Wing Administrator, Honorable Inusa George, Benue East Regional Chairman. Don't add the chairman. You will beat me, that. Thank you very much. AU TV, be with us, God willing, tomorrow morning. Under the leadership of DK Wins, Nicholas Ajinkwa Wilson, and then Echi Jai. Thank you very much for supporting us. God willing, tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.